You're very welcome back. Now, there's only one show in town tonight as Joe Schmidt's Grand Slam winning Ireland face the daunting task of taking on the all-conquering world champion New Zealand All Blacks at the Aviva Stadium tonight.
That's nice, is it?
You'd never have known, would you?
But the rugby team isn't the only outstanding export to come out from the land of the long white cloud. As wine expert David Wheelahan is here to explain. Good morning.
Good morning to you guys.
Good morning, David.
Absolutely. New Zealand produces some of the world's greatest wines, and of course they became particularly famous for their Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc back in the 80s. It started back in the early 70s, but by the time of the 80s, when Cloudy Bay came on the market in 1984, it suddenly absolutely captured the imagination of wine drinkers and wine journalists.
It kind of took over from Chardonnay in a way, didn't it?
Big time. And suddenly Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc is what everybody wanted, because it's
still up there.
It's still well and truly up there. Although people, I think, are starting to maybe gravitate a little bit, maybe left of field now, because they're saying the expression fruit is very intense, and sometimes they maybe find it a little bit overpowering. So it'll be a bit like the New Zealand team when they run out, they're going to be all power. Yeah. So when you taste a Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc, expect to have an explosion of ripe fruit flavours. Classically, we're looking for guava, passion fruit, with a little hint of gooseberry. This one has come from Teipa, who's one of the great producers over there. The land's been in the family for over 800 years, so it's a Maori family producing really great Sauvignon Blanc. So
I feel like we should be doing the haka before we go into
even the label looks like kind of hackish, doesn't it? Like it kind of sort
of. There's no messing around.
There's no messing with this wine.
It's very light in colour, David.
It's very light. It's very pale, and that's a Sauvignon Blanc grape, exactly right. And what they talk, I mean, Marlborough is the most beautiful place to visit. And very intense light, and they talk about the intensity of the light and the long hang time of the grapes, giving this incredible flavour intensity. So it just explodes in the palate. So even if you felt, I'm not great at tasting wine, and you taste a Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc, you'll remember it. And
citrus.
There's a citrusy aftertaste as well.
Yeah, and that's the length. So the wine's got great length. So it's a very reliable style of wine. So if you're out with a bunch of friends and you want a really fruity style of wine, I can't emphasise Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc as a genre is always delivers.
And what sort of price point is that?
This one is €20, and this is considered one of the top producers. So it's actually really quite well priced at that. You know,
it's really nice.
So now jumping along over to Ansfield Winery. So now it's interesting. Sauvignon Blanc is classically all about fresh, exuberant fruit, and rarely do you get oak. But when you introduce oak into the equation, you can get something that's quite intriguing. And of course, over in Bordeaux, where Sauvignon Blanc is blended with Semillon and then oaked classically, you end up with some of the world's greatest white wines. Ansfield is the oldest winery in Marlborough. So it's actually run by the Cowley family. In fact, I think their dad is a movie star, and the two sons, Luke and Ben, are the viticulturists and the winemaker. They're real absolute out-and-out dudes. So this is an intense barrique fermented Sauvignon Blanc that should be quite intriguing, but it's a whole lot more expensive. Now, this is in the echelons of one of the best white wines in the world. You see, you get honey and you get oak, and you don't have that explosion of fruit. Now
no, there's more creaminess, isn't there?
Creamy is 100% right, and that's coming from the oak influence texture. So that's got...
It's a very fancy bottle as well.
It's a very fancy bottle, yeah. And Ansfield is a very small winery. No, A for Anna, A for Ansfield, A for...
Personalised.
Absolutely. No, but this is, I mean, it's an extraordinarily good winery. This is a small 2-hectare vineyard. So a hectare is 2.43 acres. So it's a 5-acre plot that's making this particular wine.
So how much, David? Give us the bad news.
That is telling me it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah, this one is €37. But you see,
€37.
Absolutely. But you know what? When you're actually buying Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc, you'll get them for anything from €15 and a little bit upwards. So somewhere between 15 and €20, you're going to get a really good unoaked one.
Okay, and then fancy a splurge. That's your one.
Exactly. It's another very famous one.
That would be beautiful with some lamb, New Zealand lamb.
Well, it wouldn't be the obvious choice now.
I think it would.
But it would be interesting.
Not really.
I love his honesty.
Not really.
No, you eat it. No, it wouldn't. No. You're better off with a snack box for that.
No. Just as I say, we're actually, I mean, people may have forgotten about Bochet Nouveau, but Bochet Nouveau is once again, it's a style of wine that was quite popular a number of years ago. And what it is it's a bit of fun. And it should be treated in that context. So it's not a serious highbrow wine in any context. But what it reflects is it's the first release of wine from the 2018 vintage. So bear in mind that these grapes were picked in September of this year. They were crushed, fermented, and then packaged off and released onto the market. And they have a rule, which is that they will only release the wine on the third Thursday of every of November. So this is
not about David.
so it's just a special kind. It's kind of a bit of a marketing thing, but and all around Paris and all around basically all around the world, Japan, everywhere else, they just love to have this simple fruity style of wine. So it's almost like a sandwich wine. I dare I use that word, but it's just simple fruit.
Sandwich wine.
A sandwich wine.
I've never heard that one before.
They
Me
are.
neither.
So it's the Gamay grape. It's coming from Beaujolais in France. Beaujolais is an area.
Does that mean it would be like a cheeky glass at lunchtime type of idea?
A very fresh, fruity style of wine, and it's lightish in alcohol. It's 12.5%, and it's one that you would not lay down for your friends and relatives. It's one that you'd drink within 3 to 6 months, classically, of the vintage. So it's not a robust wine. It's a fun, just fun, jovial style of red wine.
Does it have a fun price?
It is €12.50.
Okay.
Oh, that's
So
good.
it's
Crack that.
and you'd actually serve it lightly chilled as well. So it's
Okay.
that kind of context.
Suggest what you'd serve it with in case I get shot down.
Perfect
by
with a
Egon
spice
Rowley.
bag.
In all fairness, I shouldn't have shot you down, but I mean,
No.
Sauvignon Blanc would not be the classic match with lamb.
It wouldn't, no.
But if you're thinking really left of field and an extreme situation, it might work.
An extreme situation.
Now-
You're stuck in the house with just a leg of lamb and a
So
bottle of lamb.
now, if you bring up lamb or whatever, if you were going for rack of lamb or something of that ilk,
Yeah.
something like a good Central Otago Pinot Noir would just
Can't
be
wait to taste that one. That'd
absolutely
be nice with lamb,
outstanding.
wouldn't
It would be extraordinary with lamb.
Would it?
It would be amazing.
Give us a taste of it, David.
There you are. But sadly, I left the corkscrew behind, you see. So that's payback time for me
We
now.
are so mean, aren't
So we are. But Ripon is an amazing biodynamic producer in Central Otago,
Looks
which is...
lovely.
Yes, and it
Only we
tastes
could taste
amazing. It tastes amazing. But we'll
And that's
bring
the
it
man to
back.
go with lamb.
So this will be extraordinarily good. It's like 93 Parker points. It's very small production, single site vineyard, most southern vineyards
price
in the
point,
world, €45. So,
Pushed the boat out this
no,
morning,
really I
David.
did, but then I forgot the corkscrew, so that's almost like a plan, but it sadly wasn't.
Well, I
because
was telling you, if I had a
looking
corkscrew, I
forward
wouldn't
to it.
open it. I'd keep it.
No.
45
yeah.
So, but just to summarise, so Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc, great fun, expressive styles of fruit wine, Tepa, delicious, Ansfield, very, very serious, higher end. And then if you want really good red wines from New Zealand, the Pinot Noir grape is the one to
Pinot
chase
Noir is
around.
the one to go.
You will come across some Cab Merlot blends and some Syrah, but Pinot Noir and Sauvignon Blanc is what really New Zealand hangs its hat on. So all we can then say is good luck to the Irish team.
Yes.
And I hope they sustain that haka well.
Yes.
Please, God.
An education as always, David.
Thank you very much.
for
Thank you,
joining
Jackie.
us. Now stay with us. Laura's got more great winter fashions live from the Paris Port Hotel.